Hello everyone, I hope you all are doing fine. So in today's video, we are going to talk about JavaScript arrays. So what are arrays? Arrays are basically list-like object. Let's suppose you want to store the name of fruits in some data structure, right? So that data structure can be an array data structure. So let's see how we can use arrays in JavaScript. So go to your dash and launch the terminal. And we are going to use Node.js for it. So let's launch Node. Okay, so how would you define an array in JavaScript? It is as simple as typing var your array name, let it be arr, and just two square brackets. That is it. So now you have successfully defined an array, and this array is empty as of now since we have not defined any elements or members inside this array. So this array is basically empty. Let's try to print this array, and now you can see that this array is empty. Okay, so let's define one new array and put some members into that. Let's make a new fruit array. Fruits equals to banana, apple. Okay, so we have created a new fruits array, and let's try to print the content of fruits array. And as you can see that we have successfully printed the content of this array. So we have created an array and we have included some members into that array. But how about adding new members to this array? That is when the operation push comes into play. So the operation is basically this push, and it is a method on array objects which you can use to add new content or new members to this array. So let's try to put something new inside this array, fruits.push, and let's suppose we are going to do watermelon. Okay, so we have successfully included watermelon in our fruits array, and as you can see that the count has been increased and printed out as 3. Okay, so we can try printing our fruits array, and it is banana, apple, watermelon. It is to be noted that push method pushes whatever you are trying to add to the bottom or the end of the array. So it will be placed after banana and apple. Now let's talk about indexes in array. See, we have included these two members, banana and apple, inside this fruits array. But how can we address apple from this fruits array? For it, we are going to use the concept of zero-based indexing. JavaScript uses zero-based indexing for indexing the members of any array. So if we want to list apple, we are going to do something like fruits, and since we are going to count it like 0, 1, so the index of apple element is 1, so we are going to write 1 here and close this square bracket, and we have successfully addressed apple. And if we want to address banana, it will be same like fruits, and this time the index will be 0, and we have successfully addressed banana. Okay, so that is how we can address individual objects from any array. The other thing to note is that array can contain any kind of item. So it is not a condition that fruits can contain only alphanumeric or string objects. It can also contain any other object type or number type. So let's test. We can try adding a new element that is not of type string. So let's add 1 to it. Okay, and as you can see the count has been increased to 4. So there are 4 members in our fruits array, and let's try to print. So as you can see that here are our 4 members of this fruits array. So it is not a necessity to contain only homogeneous type of members in an array. An array can contain any kind of valid JavaScript objects. We can also try pushing a new object as well, so that the concept is clear, right? So we can try pushing a new object here into this array, and as you can see the count is increased, and let's print it out quickly. So as you can see that now this array also includes one object literal, right? So that is how it goes. So we have talked about indexes, right? Next, we can also assign explicit indexes to our items, or you can say that if we want to store a new fruit, let it be peach, at the index 1000, we can do it, right? So let's test it out. Fruits and store peach at 1000 index position, peach. Okay, so let's try to print fruits array now, and it will tell you that there are 900 more items after printing some starting items from this array, right? So now there is this one interesting property of array, which is length. Okay, what it actually outputs is the total number of items contained in that particular array. So let's try to check the length of our fruits array. It's fruits dot length equals to 101. Why is the length 101 when there were only 5 items before assigning this 1000th item, or you can say a new item at 1000th index? The reason is that although our fruits array earlier was containing only 5 items and we only added a single item at 1000th position, so practical number of items are only 6 and not 1001 as represented here, because we have assigned peach at 1000th location. So array thinks that there are 1001 members, since arrays count from 0th bit index, right? So banana is basically 0, and you can do the math. So there's 1, 2, 3 and so on, and so we have assigned fruits at 1000, that is practically 1001th member of this array. So the length of this array is 1001, and as you can see that all of the items in between peach and our initial arrays are basically blank or nothing, right? So that is why our fruits array has length 1001. Now, how would you iterate over this array? To make this example more clear, I would just create a new array and only put 5 items in it, so that we don't have to iterate over all of these blank items, right? So let's quickly do it for 2 and 1. So we have created our fruits array. So how would you iterate over this array? If you are coming from any programming background, you must be aware of the for loop. If you are not, don't worry. We are going to talk about for loop next. So for loop will iterate over all of the elements of your array and will print whatever we are going to do with our elements. So let's quickly create the iteration process for this. For y is to 0, I is smaller than fruits 2.length. We are going to use the length properties so that I can be smaller to the length of an array, because it is going to contain 5 members, and as you can see, if we are going to count it from 0th index, so the orange will be at the index 4. So I technically should go from 0 to fruits.length minus 1, right? Hence this smaller than symbol. And let's try to increment I on every iteration, and let's quickly print log fruits 2.0 and our I. Hence we have successfully printed all of the elements of our array by iterating over this array efficiently. right? Now let's talk about how you can remove elements from any array. So for that we are going to use the pop operation. Pop will basically remove the element which is at the last or the greatest index position. So if we are going to use pop on this fruits array, it is going to pop orange from it, and the resulting array will be containing only banana, apple, peach and watermelon. Let's quickly test it. So fruits 2 basically contains all of these elements, and now let's try to pop something, and as you can see that fruits.pop method has successfully removed or returned orange from our array, and now fruits 2 array contains only these 4 elements or members. Right. So we have successfully talked about how to add and remove elements from the end or the tail of an array. Then what about if we want to remove or add any element to the beginning of an array? So our fruits 2 array contains these 4 characters. How about we can add something to the start of this fruits array? For that we are going to use this unshift method. Unshift method basically prepends whatever you are going to provide here to fruits array. So let's quickly add new fruit, that can be quinoa, to our list, and as you can see that the count has been increased to 5, so we have successfully added something. Let's test what it is, and as you can see that all of the elements have been shifted to the right, and this quinoa member has been added to the front of the list, right? Now how can we quickly remove quinoa from the start of this list, right? So there is this equivalent operation to match up with unshift, that is shift operator. It will basically remove element from the start of the list. So let's do it, and as you can see it has returned quinoa, and our final list contains only these 4 elements. So in this video we have successfully learned how you can create array in JavaScript, how you can add elements or remove elements from the beginning or the end of an array, how you can iterate over an array and do some processing inside that iteration loop. So I would create yet another video listing down enhanced or advanced methods you can use with arrays to do some nifty data processing. So please subscribe to this channel so that you can learn more about these JavaScript arrays and why they are awesome and how you can efficiently use them to design better performing programs. Thank you all for your time. If you like this video, please subscribe to this channel. Thank you.